Chiurrt Imwe, deeply spiritual, Imwe believes in all things are connected through the Force. Though he lacks Force abilities, this warrior monk rigorously honed his body through intense physical and mental discipline. And welcome to Centurions Corner, and today we are reviewing from Star Wars The Black Series and Rogue One story, and the name I'm going to completely butcher because I've not even researched it, how to say it. Is it Chiurrt Imwe? But I'll double check that before I actually get on with the review a little bit later. But yeah, it's from the Rogue One ones. Another older figure, just with a re-imaged sort of face tech on there. That's why I held off these guys, because they looked a bit crap back in the day. So I was quite glad that they brought these ones out. But obviously, like his monk brother, it's going to be a bit of an older body. I'm hoping this one's going to be better because he's not as bulky as the other one, which was just insane. It was like a jacket potato with a head on the top. He's got his staff, he's got his sort of bowcaster that he's got here. On the side, we've got him once again. And swinging it right around to the back, we have his number 4 in the Rogue One line, bio and picture, shall I say. And then going right back round to the front. And I guess without further ado, let's just crack this bad boy open. So here he is in his blister pack. Obviously we can actually see more of that sort of cloth material that he's got down here for his sort of like skirt or gi, and we can obviously see his little tootsies and more of his weapon. So I'm going to take him out for our first impressions. Ooh, I've actually got quite a bit. I didn't even realise he had this long cape draping down the back. It's a bit weird that they do plastic like this, yet they do cloth at the same time, because obviously now it's just kind of like a bit awkward. But anyway, we're going to take some pictures, see what he's capable of, put him through his paces, and we see you in a mo. So welcome back. We've been away, we've taken these pictures. What can I say about this guy? Well, he's not like the other Rogue One figures. He's actually a really nice articulated figure. Basically, he's not a potato like the other Rogue One figures. And yeah, he comes across pretty cool. He's got all the articulation in there that you need. And yeah, kudos to Hasbro, to be honest, for way back when they didn't really know what they were doing with the Black Series figures. But yeah, it's quite good. Quite glad to have him on the shelf. He comes with 2 accessories, which is one is his little stick here. As you can see with the details, we've got the silver just at the top there, with all those kind of nubbin bits going down into the actual wooden pole, again with more kind of metal parts down it. And yeah, he holds it really nicely in his hands. You can actually bring it up and swivel his hands around as well, so you can get that kind of sort of like elonged pose that he does when he's sort of looking down his pole with a little bit of play, you know. So you can bring it around here, just like so, you know. He's doing these little round, going to get all the stormtroopers and stuff. So I really like that. I like we can actually articulate the actual figure into that pose, especially when it's quite an iconic one. His other accessory that he comes with is like this strange bowcaster. Again, it's not great, is it? I mean, it's a bit, I suppose he's going to hold it in his hand. Bringing it around, holding it here into this hand like so. So he's got that one, and then what you can do is bring these parts up, and then he has his kind of bowcaster, very sort of traditional old sort of musket kind of type, with all the gold and all those other accessories on there. You can see he holds it in the trigger hand pretty well, but he doesn't really hold the gun too well, to be honest. He hasn't got the articulation for this kind of sort of like wielding of a gun, but he never sort of really sort of aimed down it. He was always kind of just doing it off the off, you know, with his sort of like blind senses, and shooting it away. So these bits are sort of movable. They can go right around to the front if you wanted. There's no kind of stopping it, and there's no kind of attachment where these could actually just clip in to keep them out of the way. And again, he hasn't got no place to store it, which will be great to just have a little nib or something on here that we could just stick it onto his back. But the actual figure itself is pretty cool, and the articulation is there. So with the head, we can turn left, he can turn right, he can look down this far and then look up this far. It hasn't got no lower neck movement because the neck is part of the mould of the actual upper torso. Arm wise, full rotation here and up to this point, and it has rotation at the elbow and the single elbow joint, rotation at the wrist, and it's also on a hinge. Waist crunch, not so much, and back, not so much. I think it's just too much going on down here. But leg wise, he can come up this far, he can kick forward, he can kick back, right, all that way. Look at that rotation at the upper thigh, and he's also got a double knee joint down here, and then we have a rocker and a pivot at the ankle. So all in all, it's actually a really nice figure, good articulation for way back when, and there's no pins and stuff in the elbow, which is pretty cool. Where this guy really comes into play is actually his sculpt. He really looks like the actor. We got the blind eyes that they've done on here, got a really nice kind of complexion over his face, and I haven't got the original to sort of like refer to, but it just looks really nice. And actually it's what kind of put me off originally with these Rogue One figures. They just looked not that great, to be honest, and that's not what I wanted for Black Series figures, where they were sort of like just hand painted. It just looked awful. But the actual top itself looks great. I mean, look at all this extra stitching and other parts in there. It looks cool. Coming down to this arm, we've got all this kind of weathering over the top of the white, silver, and a bit of red and stuff in there into his hand. On this side, we've actually got like a sculpted part of the arm, so the sleeve is a little bit shorter, and on the bandolier we've just got that kind of white kind of padding and stuff, and then we've got this kind of Star Wars CD Walkman down here. But look at the colours on there. We've got gunmetal, we've got white, we've got like a lighter grey, we've got red. You don't see that these days. You don't see that many paint applications just in one little area. It would just normally be like all painted in one. So it's pretty cool, to be honest with you. On the back with the bandolier, it's all attached and stuff to this really heavy kind of heavy cape, shall I say. I kind of wanted it to be material, but it actually falls in line with his articulation, because you can actually get him in some really nice poses and then rely on this to actually kind of support its weight. So yeah, it actually comes in quite handy. Down on the skirt, again, we've got this sort of like extra little kind of painted part on here over this very kind of thin, it kind of feels a bit like felt in a way. But the actual flow of it, you can actually put it into certain areas if you wanted him sort of like walking, and it's sort of blowing in the wind with this really nice sort of vibrant red underneath it as well. It's really cool. I do think like these parts just look a bit cheap on this bit. I kind of wish that there was a bit of molded plastic for these kind of tassels, if that's what they needed to be. It just looks a bit kind of fake and a bit crap, to be honest with you, but we can just tuck those out of the way so we don't see them. Underneath his skirt, we just got actual black trousers. Pretty cool. Shame about the pins, but it is an older figure. And then down to his boots as well. So, but they're really articulated and they don't get in the way of all this kind of skirt and stuff. So you can really get him into these really cool poses, as if he's going to just take out a million Stormtroopers. So thank you so much for joining me on this one. Let me know in the comments down below, did you go back out there and pick up all these if you had the originals? Let me know in the comments down below. You can subscribe, ding the bell, follow me on Instagram, it's in the description down below, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.